Neil from Messick's here to share an accessory kit with you that may help keep you from doing thousands of dollars of damage to the front end of your tractor. Years ago, when I first started selling machines, it was quite unusual for us to install third function hydraulics onto a tractor, much less put a grapple onto the front of one. That was stuff that was typically reserved for heavier construction machinery, but today that has changed quite a bit, as somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40% of the tractors that leave here today go out with front hydraulics out on the loader. And a significant portion of those will go out with grapples. That has created a new problem now, right? We're using tractors in a way that we haven't before. When you look at these machines and you check out their grill guards, there's a lot of exposed headlights and plastic here in the back. Now, some newer models, the factories are now starting to offer some brush guards, but they haven't come out with a solution for a majority of machines yet, much less offer anything for the older equipment that's already out there in the field. Enter a brush screen. We at Messick's now are going to start fabricating these things and offering them up to you as an accessory to put on your tractor. Just a little bit of work here, we can go and install this onto this brush guard and hopefully keep this tractor from having a limb or something come back into its headlights. So join me here today and I'll show you how one of these is installed.
Messick's, a helping hand with your land.
Now, there are two goals in the design of these brush guards. The first is affordability. This is not a new idea. This has been offered by some independent weld shops in the past, but at a cost that's often greater than the components that you're aiming to protect here. So we've worked this down into one simple assembly that we can sell at a really attractive price. The second goal is to minimize drilling. This is a thick piece of metal to drill into. It can be done, but it takes a little bit of work. And so the first step that we're going to do here is to use these lower pivot points, the ones here that the grill guard rotates around when you release it here and fold it front, in order to support the bottom of the grill guard. So we're going to start by taking these two nuts out and attaching the lower end of the guard. Now, we're offering this for a better part of what's going to fit about 40 different tractors here initially. The tools that you're going to need are going to vary from machine to machine, but on this standard L series tractor, these are some significantly large bolts. I need a wrench here that's 1 1/16 in order to loosen these. Once you've got your nuts off, you want to slide the bolts out far enough that you can get the guard in and over top of the bolt. You want to be careful that you don't push them too far out, otherwise the front grill guard is going to fall off the front of the tractor, but pulling them back a little bit is going to give you the space to get the guard in, but not have this fall off the machine. So once you've slid everything in place here and put the nuts back on again, you're going to want to tighten the nuts up. Now, depending on what tractor you're working on, some of these machines, the guard here is friction held back. This one's got a pin here that's going to lock it back, but some of them rely upon the friction in this joint down here to keep the guard from falling front. If that's the case on yours, you're going to want to make sure you tighten these bolts tightly enough that it holds everything in place. The added weight of the guard out here on the front might require you to tighten these down a little bit more in order to keep the assembly from falling front. Now, once you've bolted this at the bottom here, you just simply fold the guard up and it's going to fill the space here on the brush guard. Now, this is designed in a way that the outside edges of the brush guard are going to line up on top of the outside edges of your grill guard in order to give some structural support. This top lip right here that is folded over is made to go underneath this top guard, not wrap around the top. The structural stability here comes in that fold. Now once you push this back in, you're going to see the contour roughly follows the grill guard. It's not going to be perfect. You put a little bit of pressure on this in order to push it back in, and then take a cordless drill and drill a hole here through the tab in order to secure the top with a bolt. Now one tip, if you've not drilled thick metal like this before, is to use some kind of oil in order to allow your bit to spin a little bit more freely. A sharp bit makes a big difference, but oil can make just as much of a difference. I'm using a little bit of WD-40 right here. You can also use cast off engine oil or hydraulic oil. Any kind of thick oil really does a good job and makes these holes easier to drill. Once you've got your holes drilled, included in your kit is two stainless steel nuts and bolts. You're just gonna push these right back through the hole that you just drilled, secure everything back, and then tighten it up, and that's gonna hold the guard in place back against your grill guard. So as much as our parts department will be happy to sell you headlights and hoods and cowlings if you beat your tractor up while you're out using it, an investment in something like this can go a long way to protecting your machine. It's probably a smart addition if you're going to be picking up a grapple along with your tractor, especially. That's where we see a vast majority of the damage happen to these front ends of these machines is when grapples are involved. If you click on the link up here to our website, it'll take you to the product listing online that will have the different models that we have available. Right now we're covering about 40 to 50 different models of Kubota's tractors with these. We're trying to do this as an affordable alternative to a lot of what is out there on the market currently. So if we can help you with any needs for your tractors at all, any parts for the equipment that you have, if you're shopping for a piece of machinery, we've got these things here at Messick to be able to throw onto your tractor as it goes out the door. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at messicks.com. Dong.